Okay, now you might have remembered I went down to Lawn in Victoria for the Australian launch of the Super Meteor 650, Royal Enfield's new classic cruiser. Well, we've got it on 2 weeks for a bit longer test. We thought we'd give it to our test rider Jonesy for a bit of a rip. What do you think, mate?
So how was your junket? Was it good?
Yes, it was
Man
good.
lives on junket, and I'm not talking about the little pudding that they used to give kids in the 70s. This is a fantastic bike. I love it. It's fun. It reminds me when I first got my GS750 Suzuki.
Yep.
I was 18 years of age. It's the first big road bike I ever had. This feels like it. It feels light. It feels nimble. It's just a fun motorcycle.
An all-round.
Just an all-rounder, you know. And it's safe. I felt really safe on it, on a motorcycle, which is something long-time motorcyclists can relate to. But you just feel safe on it. It's a great riding position. Plenty of brakes, plenty of power. I really loved it.
You've ridden a few Royal Enfields in the past. You would have noticed the quality of manufacturers definitely stepped up.
They got rid of all the plastic, so there's a lot of metal on here. Very basic. Any competent mechanic could work on it, except for him. But it's great. You can do the oil change. It's got a center stand, so you can muck around with the chain. It's one of those things. There's a lot of upside to this particular motorcycle.
So now the most important, your ratings.
Oh, the ratings. Okay, so affordability. Well, it's clearly 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that's up
you know,
there.
this is a first bike or a second bike or a third bike. And if you've got 5 bikes, you say to your wife, "Hey, it's only 12 grand.
Not everyone's got 5 bikes, but
Don't they?
not everyone, no.
Well, I used to have 7. That's why I've got 5. So we should.
Why have you only got 5?
Well, it's outrageous. I don't know. We should have an appeal-a-thon. The next one is rideability.
Yep.
As I said, you rip through the traffic through this thing. I was actually looking for traffic. It's so great as a commuter. I don't know about riding long distances on it, although it's got 2 clocks and one clock's half an hour behind. So if you wanted to ride to Adelaide,
Yeah,
you've got
perfect.
the time there.
You'll arrive on time.
Braggability, look, I ride a lot of different bikes to work, and usually my gauge is when someone who's not a motorcyclist says, "Oh, you know, what's that bike you're riding?" No one asked me for the whole week. And then at the end, the receptionist said, "What's that bike you're riding?" I said, "Oh, it's a Royal Enfield." And she went, "Oh, that's nice."
Didn't get that wow factor.
Yeah, there was not a wow factor. It's, and finally, look back ability. That's when you walk away from it and you're going, "Oh, look at my sled." I'd do that to any bike, but you know, I looked back at this with a feeling of like I was looking at my granny and I'm going, "Oh, isn't she nice?" And really, so I give that probably about a 2 out of 10.
Yep.
Or just, you know, all respect to my grandma, but it's great.
But for $12,000, it really is a great
great.
all-round motorcycle, isn't it?
But you should shout us all one.
Learner approved as well, which is quite important.
And I think if you went past the learner stage, you could end up, you know, hanging on to it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, good on you, mate. Enjoy
Well,
the rest
thank
of the
you,
week.
Miles.
Keep riding.
Good job.
Thank you.
I'm just going for a beer. Do you want one?
Yeah, grab me one.
Okay.
It's been just over 5 years now since Royal Enfield released its popular 648cc parallel twin engine platform, and now they've expanded the range. Joining the Continental GT and the Interceptor is the new Super Meteor 650, which is a huge step up for the marque. And Australia was just the 3rd market globally and the 1st in the Asia Pacific region to receive the Super Meteor 650, indicating the importance of the market and the popularity of Royal Enfield here in Australia. Now, Royal Enfield continues to lead the global mid-level cruiser market, which isn't just a claim, they've got the results on paper to prove it. And much of this success has resulted from the increase in the quality of production while also maintaining that extremely competitive pricing. And you just have to take one ride on the new Super Meteor 650 to realise why. The value for money is right up there. So let's take a closer look at Royal Enfield's latest classic cruiser. The SM650 runs the same engine as the Continental GT and the Interceptor, but features a new chassis and swing arm along with a few other subtle changes. Now, it may be powered by the same 648cc air-cooled twin parallel motor as the Interceptor and the Continental GT, with the engine and drivetrain almost identical other than the new airbox and the exhaust. But there are a lot of notable upgrades to the SM650, with the main star of the show being the new chassis. It now features an all-new steel spine frame developed by Royal Enfield's Technology Centre in Bruttingthorpe in the UK, and incorporates a new cylinder head mount for the extra stiffness. Another extensive change, and for the first time ever on a Royal Enfield, the SM650 has been fitted with a Showa upside down fork, which provides 27.6 degrees of rake and about 118.5 millimetres of travel, and feels extremely stable when you start pushing it a little harder through the corners. While at the rear, it features twin Showa shocks with a 5-setting preload adjustment and about 101 millimetres of travel. I will say the rear suspension was a little rough in places and did bottom out occasionally, but for a cruiser that rolls in just under 12k, it was more than adequate. What is impressive is the brakes. With a 320mm front disc matched with a 300mm rear disc, you get a lot of good feel through the lever, and it's just great when you're punting it through the corners and you want to pull her up quick. Both discs are gripped by twin piston calipers from Brembo's Indian subsidiary Vibray, while it also includes ABS as standard. Now the SM650 also has the trip and navigation module as standard and a USB charging port, although surprisingly there was no cruise control, which is a bit different for a cruiser. And all that mid-grunt power is smooth and linear as you roll right through the power curve, made even more enjoyable with the effortless shifting gearbox. Forward controls were comfortable too, placing you in an upright riding position, while those forward controls are just as comfortable, especially if you're doing a bit of cruising. Perfect for around town, is just as comfortable for a weekend away. In fact, it was so impressive that it's easy to forget the fact that the SM650 is a learner-approved motorcycle. Having said that, I wouldn't be surprised that quite a few learners will hang on to it even once they've acquired their unrestricted licence. And although it weighs in at about 241 kilos, you don't feel any of that weight once you're up and rolling. Seat height of about 740mm ensures most riders will be able to place both feet firmly on the ground. It really is a light, agile and easy bike to ride, which will suit anyone from novice to experienced riders. The standard version will be available in Astral Black, Astral Blue and Interstellar Green, while the Tourer version, which comes with the screen and the bigger rear seat, is available in Celestial Red and Celestial Blue. And as always, there'll be a wide range of apparel and accessories available too. So if you're looking for a rock-solid cruiser at an extremely competitive price, why not get down to your local Royal Enfield dealer and take one for a burn?